And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel and welcome to the Dice Tower. And today we're going to be taking a look at 6 games I didn't particularly care for and didn't want to put them into a full review, so I'm just going to talk now about them and tell you why. And I'll go from, we'll start from the best to the worst, or the bad to the worst. You'll see. The first one is Valknut. Now I like the artwork of Valknut a lot. Essentially, you are putting out cards, and then you have different races that you're going to be moving around, fantasy races, moving them around. You get a certain number of units, and you'll move around, and you're trying to surround your opponents. It sounds very tactical and very interesting, and it's really cool that some units there's only a couple of, some there's a lot of. They each have a different special power. That's really interesting, but the game is just not interesting. The card that you draw, sometimes if one of your characters gets taken out by the opponent, there's only a few cards that bring characters back, and if you don't draw one of those, nothing you can do about it. It's really light. I think it's actually pretty bad with 3 and 4 players because one player can be completely taken out of the game. Now, it is a 15 to 30 minute game, so that might not be a big deal, but it only works with 2 players. I'm not convinced the factions are very balanced, and luck is too prevalent for me in this one. It's also not interesting. Surround your opponent. Woohoo. Just was not a huge fan. Ugly Christmas sweaters. I don't personally think ugly Christmas sweaters are ugly. They're fun, I think. This box is ugly. That's for sure. But this is a trick-taking game where you're trying to win cards to build sweaters. So I'm just going to quick show you the back of the box here. You're going to build sweaters made of 3 cards like it shows you there. That combined with a trick-taking game comes together in a really slow game that doesn't feel very strategic. I like trick-taking games. This one feels clunky, and the scoring mechanisms are not that interesting. You're trying to match patterns and colors, but also win tricks, and it felt like it could have been a better game, and of course this cover isn't going to sell any more copies of it. On the other hand, the artwork for this game, Deep State, is pretty cool. It looks like cartoon artwork from the 90s almost, comic book artwork, and it's about the Illuminati, the New World Order. You're one of these Illuminatis, and it is a Euro game in a sense where you're trying to control different cards, get those cards to get different symbols to accomplish goals, and oh my word, folks, the game is not that complex of a game, and yet it comes with a very big rule book and then another reference guide. The reference guide has 23 pages. The rule book has 23 pages. That's 46 pages, and the game never comes close to feeling like it needed 46 pages. You, on your turn, you're going to put some agents out, influence of sorts, to win a card. It's like a little bit of an auction game. You win these cards, you collect symbols, you can play cards from your hands. There's very few symbols of certain types in the game. There's different powers. There's a lot of things going on, and I'm constantly have to look through these rules, and I'm like, well, that could have been simplified. This could have been simplified. It feels like a really simple game, which could be pretty good, hampered by an overcomplicated theme with words to match it, with symbology. That didn't feel like it was that game. It feels really light and also complicated at the same time. And that is not a good combination because I don't know who that's for. The Illuminati theme is fun, it's interesting, but unfortunately it doesn't come out in this game. Then we have Latte Throwdown. This is a dice rolling game where you roll dice and you're going to place these dice on different patterns that people make in the top of their coffees that you get at Starbucks, and the barista makes a little flower. That's what it's about. And you place these dice, and whoever is the first person to place dice at a spot wins. There's a couple problems with it. This game is just sheer luck. And there's very few ways to mitigate this luck. Like on my turn, I'm trying to roll. There's a card that says you need a 3 and a 5 to get it. I roll a 3 and 5. I got it. You can't get it now. That's it. It's done. Or there's a card that needs 5 ones. So I roll and I get 3 ones. On your turn, you roll, you get 2 ones. On my turn, I roll and I got 1 1. And on your turn, you roll no ones. My turn, I roll no ones. That's not interesting. Sometimes there's cards out there that let you change things, but it doesn't matter. Almost everyone has access to the same ability, so it's straight luck. It's like Yahtzee, but not as good. And here's the problem. It's not the only dice game about making coffee. So there's Viva Java, the dice game, which is a really good one. And that exists in the same world as Latte Throwdown. I can't recommend this one. It's just not interesting. You just roll dice, place them out. It's very similar to the Spiel des Jahres winners, Vegas, but Vegas is much more fun and interesting than this one, unfortunately. All right, now we come to an unusual game here called Rare Roses. Now, Rare Roses, one of the publishers here is the Grand Gamers Guild, and they make fantastic, heavier, interesting games. I don't know what happened in this particular one because this is about collecting roses. You're pulling roses out of a bag. You're going to buy roses, put them in your shop, let the roses bloom perhaps, and then turn them in for orders. But wow, I really dislike this game. There's such a chaotic thing. I'll take some flowers. Do I turn them in for an order, or do I wait till let them bloom, trying to get them in the right spots for blooming to get more points? But you'll never do that because someone else on their turn will buy the same flowers and go, you know what? I'm not going to let them bloom. I'm just going to turn that order in now. And there's just luck with these flowers coming out of the bag. And there's also like a bonus if you get the most of certain flowers on your orders. The numbers are weird. The graphic design isn't that good. I like the theme of collecting flowers and turning them in, but this felt like just a huge miss. And then finally, Risky Chicken. This game's just pretty much garbage. It is a game in which you are trying to climb a mountain with somebody else. A chicken, yay. And each turn, you take someone with you, and then you both decide whether you're going to keep climbing or jump off. If you both jump off, you split the money. If you both keep climbing, then you climb up higher, but you have to roll a die, and you need to roll anything but a 5 or a 6 to go to the next level, and then anything but a 4, 5, or a 6. If one of you picks climb and the other person drops out, the climb person gets all the money. It's awful. Celestia already exists. It's the exact same game, but it does it really well. This one here, what benefit is there? There's like, it's that, basically making that choice with the other person, the prisoner's dilemma. It's the prisoner's dilemma, but really bad. Like, let's both leave, we'll split 5 coins. Okay, are you sure? And then, oh, I don't leave, now I get 10 coins and you don't get nothing. Okay, so why do we both leave? We both leave. If we both stay, we can climb, and then you roll a die, an incredibly random result will happen. Not to mention, 2 people are climbing together. Everyone else in the game is sitting there waiting while you decided the decision. I don't care either way, climb or don't climb, but please, please, let's end this game and play something better. The components weren't that great. This was a huge miss for me. Did not like it at all. There you go. Some of you may like these games. I think, like Deep State, some people, if they really want to get into it, that may be their jam. Some of the themes, Valknut may work for some people. But for the most part, I did not enjoy these games. But you never know. You might also. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.